Right now, if you were to go from dollars and get rid of all the dollars completely and just use the gold that is available in the world, it would require a price well over $100,000 an ounce, probably more on the order of $200,000 an ounce if the Treasury has the gold they say they do. Mm-hmm. Do they?
I have no idea, but I'm suspect that they do. I mean, James Turk, who we both know quite well, wrote an article many years ago, you may remember it, called Grist for the Mill. And he questioned, is the Fort Knox gold really there? And, a few little subtleties have come up if you study the markets as hard as you and I do. And one of the subtleties was that President Bush was going to save money for the taxpayer and do away with the guarding of Fort Knox. And, oh, wait a minute, we can't do that. There's supposed to be some gold in there, right? So, wait a minute, I'll check that one. But this is the kind of nonsense that goes on. I mean, there's never been a real physical audit since the 50s, and even in that audit, it's my understanding, I want to be clear, I have not read this in any notarized statement, but it's my understanding that even on that audit, that a couple of high-powered politicians went in. They went into one area of the vault, and they brought out a couple of bars and put them in the senator's hands. Oh yeah, that's real gold, and probably was. But that's not an audit.
No,
that's a dog and pony show.
Right. If you look at the financial report of the United States financial statement, in it you'll see that the Treasury has pledged $11 billion worth of gold against gold notes, and it says held by the Federal Reserve, but then it goes on to say that Treasury may redeem the notes at any time, which means Federal Reserve has the gold and the Treasury has the notes. Well, $11 billion, the problem with this is that the U.S. values their gold at what price?
$42.22 an ounce.
Yeah, and so you take the number of ounces that they've got, divided by that, or times that price, and what you end up with is $11.5 billion worth of gold, $11 billion which has been given to the Federal Reserve, and only $500 million is still held by the Treasury to mint eagles and things like that out of, and they're holding these gold notes. Now, the Federal Reserve can't be audited. And what did Alan Greenspan say in testimony to Congress in 1996?
Something to the effect that they're willing to lease more gold.
The world's central banks stand ready to lease gold in increasing quantities should the price rise. So, lease gold in increasing quantities, increasing meaning they're already doing it, should the price rise. The target is to control the price of gold. So he admitted that gold is being manipulated and that the central banks are doing it in testimony to Congress. And where does that gold come from? Well, the Federal Reserve hasn't been audited, and the Treasury loaned them all of our gold and now has nothing but little certificates that say that they're payable in gold on them.
Yeah. Well, I always had the thought that if it ever came to the general populace understanding that there is no gold in Fort Knox, or the gold that's there isn't owned by the U.S., it's owned by the Fed, that would be a trigger point. Yeah, I may be off on that, but I've always thought that.
Well, I think it will be, and part of that is getting this out on the internet.
Right, exactly. Right.
All this information.
What would happen in theory if all the gold left the planet? And what would happen if all the silver left the planet?